My girlfriend sneered at dinner. I can't marry a teacher. You'll never make real money. I smiled calmly. You're right, but look at one thing. I placed my phone in front of her. The moment she saw the numbers on the screen, her eyes widened and her face drained of color. Because the teacher she looked down on actually earned more than her executive father. Dear friends, please subscribe to my channel. It's very important for my encouragement. Thank you. I'm 27, and until 3 nights ago, I thought I knew exactly where my life was headed. I'd been with Delaney for 2 years, met her at a mutual friend's birthday party, hit it off immediately, moved in together after 8 months. She worked in marketing for a tech startup, always talked about scaling and disruption and other buzzwords I never fully understood. I taught high school history and coached debate on the side. Different worlds, but it worked. Or so I thought. The dinner happened at Marcello's, this Italian place she'd been wanting to try for weeks. It was expensive, the kind of place where they don't list prices on the menu and the waiter describes each dish like it's a work of art. I didn't mind. I'd made reservations for her birthday month, wanted to do something special. We were halfway through our entrees when she brought it up. So I've been thinking about us, Delaney said, twirling pasta on her fork but not eating it. About our future. Yeah. I smiled. Me too, actually. I had a ring picked out. Not purchased yet, but picked out. I'd been saving for 6 months, had the whole proposal planned for Christmas at her parents' lake house. I love you. I really do, she continued, and my stomach dropped because nothing good ever follows that particular phrase. But I've been talking to my dad, and he made some really valid points about financial compatibility. Financial compatibility? She set down her fork. David, you're a teacher. You make, what, $48,000 a year? Maybe 50 with your coaching stipend. 52, actually, but that's not sustainable for the life I want. The life we should want. She was using her work voice now, the one she used in meetings. Confident. Rehearsed. My dad worked his way up to CFO. He's giving me advice based on decades of experience. He says marrying someone without real earning potential is setting yourself up for resentment and failure. I sat there, fork in hand, processing. Real earning potential. You know what I mean. Teaching is noble, it's important, but it's not a growth career. You'll make essentially the same salary in 10 years that you make now. Maybe you'll be department head. Big deal. That's what, 5,000 more. She leaned forward. I need a partner who can match my ambition, who can contribute equally when we buy a house, when we have kids, when we want to travel. I can't carry the financial burden of a marriage alone. The couple at the table next to us had gone quiet. I could feel them pretending not to listen. So what are you saying? I asked. I'm saying I can't marry a teacher. I need you to be realistic about what you can provide. She reached across the table like she was about to take my hand, then seemed to think better of it. Maybe you could go back to school, get an MBA, transition into education administration or corporate training. Something with actual money. I should have been angry. Part of me was. But mostly I just felt this strange calm settle over me, like watching a car accident in slow motion and realizing you're about to witness something you can't stop. You're right, I said quietly. She blinked. I am. Yeah, you're absolutely right that you can't marry me. But look at one thing first. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and slid it across the table. Her eyes went to the screen. I watched her face go through several emotions at once. Confusion, disbelief, then something that might have been fear. That's not real, she whispered. It's very real. That says $847,000. $847,294.67, to be exact. As of this afternoon. The color drained from her face. How? I leaned back in my chair. Remember how I told you my uncle died when I was 19 and left me some money for college? And how I said I used it for my degree and had some left over? She nodded slowly. He left me $180,000. I went to state school, graduated debt-free, and invested the remaining $140,000 in index funds. That was 2016. I've been adding to it ever since, maxing out my Roth IRA every year, throwing in every bonus, every summer school payment, every penny from my side tutoring business you didn't know about, because you never asked what I did with my evenings. I took a sip of water. Compound interest is pretty amazing over 8 years. You have a side tutoring business? Had. Past tense. I sold it last month to one of my teacher friends for $85,000. She wanted an established client base. I wanted liquidity. Turns out rich parents pay very well for someone who can get their kids into good colleges. I charged $200 an hour, worked 15 hours a week during school year, 30 during summers. Cash business, mostly. Well, Venmo and PayPal, but you know what I mean. Delaney's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Why didn't you tell me? I did tell you. You just didn't listen. Every time I mentioned staying late for student meetings or having weekend commitments, that was tutoring. You'd say that's nice and go back to your phone. You never asked details because you'd already decided teaching was boring and beneath you. But that's more than my dad makes in total savings. He's been a CFO for 15 years. I know. You've mentioned his salary and bonuses approximately 1,000 times. He pulls in about $320,000 a year, lives in a nice house with a mortgage that'll take another 12 years to pay off, leases 2 luxury cars, takes expensive vacations, and has maybe $400,000 in retirement accounts because he spent most of his earning years trying to look successful. I took another sip of water. I drive a 7-year-old Honda, live in a modest apartment, take camping trips instead of cruises, and invested aggressively since I was 19. Different priorities. The waiter appeared to ask if everything was okay with our meal. Neither of us had touched our food in 10 minutes. Delaney waved him away. So you're saying you've been, what, pretending to be poor? I'm saying I am a teacher who makes $52,000 a year. That's my job. It's what I love doing. The money is separate. It's security, it's freedom, but it's not who I am. I never pretended anything. I just didn't feel the need to explain my entire financial situation to someone who clearly valued me so little that she'd suggest I wasn't worth marrying based on my job title. She sat back. This is insane. What's insane is that you thought it was appropriate to tell me I'm not good enough for you in the middle of a nice restaurant because your daddy said so. We're done, Delaney. You can finish your pasta or not. I'm paying for dinner, then I'm going home, my home, since the lease is in my name, and I'd appreciate it if you could be moved out by Sunday. You can't just kick me out. Actually, I can. Check the lease. You're not on it. You've been a guest for the past year and a half. I'll give you until Sunday, which is generous considering what you just said to me. Update 1, that was Thursday night. By Friday morning, my phone was blowing up. Delaney had apparently told her entire friend group her version of events, which involved me hiding money from her and financially abusing her by pretending to be poor. I got texts from 3 of her friends calling me manipulative. One called me psychotic. I didn't respond to any of them. I did, however, screenshot some of the more creative insults and send them to my buddy Kieran, who teaches English at my school. He thought they were hilarious and suggested I start a betting pool on how long until Delaney's story fell apart. Delaney herself tried calling me 17 times between midnight and 8 a.m. I silenced her number. She left voicemails ranging from apologetic, I was just surprised, can we talk? To angry, you're a liar and a fraud. To desperate, please, I love you, we can work through this. Saturday morning, she was still in the apartment when I got back from my run. She'd apparently taken my Sunday deadline as a suggestion rather than a requirement. We need to talk, she said. She looked like she hadn't slept. Good. There's nothing to talk about. Are you packing? My dad wants to meet you. I actually laughed. Your dad? The one who told you not to marry teachers because we don't make real money. That dad. He didn't know about your situation. He wants to apologize. I don't want his apology. I want you out of my apartment. Please. I made a mistake. I was listening to the wrong people, and I got caught up in this idea of what success looks like, and I'm sorry. I really am. But we've been together for 2 years. That has to mean something. It did mean something. Past tense. You told me I wasn't good enough. You didn't ask questions, didn't give me the benefit of the doubt, just decided based on a salary figure that I was inadequate. What happens when something else about me doesn't meet your standards? When I'm not ambitious enough, or successful enough by whatever metric you've decided matters. That's not fair. What's not fair is spending 2 years with someone and realizing they've been evaluating you like a stock portfolio the whole time. I grabbed my water bottle from the counter. Sunday, Delaney. I'm staying at Kieran's tonight. When I come back tomorrow evening, I expect you gone. She opened her mouth to argue, but something in my face must have told her I was done negotiating. She just nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. I felt nothing watching her cry. That probably should have bothered me more than it did. Update 2 Sunday evening. I came home to an empty apartment. Well, mostly empty. Delaney had taken her clothes, her toiletries, most of the kitchen stuff we'd bought together. She'd also left a 3-page handwritten letter on the counter. The letter was something. It started with an apology, devolved into justifications. I was just trying to be practical about our future, then swung into accusations. You should have told me about the money if you really loved me. And ended with a plea for another chance. We can go to couples counseling. I can change. Please just think about it. I threw it away without finishing the last paragraph. Kieran asked me how I felt when I texted him that she was gone. Honestly, relieved. Like I dodged a bullet I didn't even know was aimed at me. If Delaney was willing to evaluate my worth based on my salary, what else would she have judged me on? What would she have told our hypothetical kids about their teacher dad? Daddy couldn't afford better? The thought made me sick. Update 2 weeks later. I heard through the mutual friend who'd introduced us that Delaney's dad actually did want to meet me. Not to apologize, to offer me a job. Apparently, he was impressed by my financial acumen and thought I'd be an asset in corporate training or financial planning. The friend said he'd specifically mentioned that someone with my hidden talents was being wasted in public education. I declined through text, told our mutual friend to pass along that I was exactly where I wanted to be, teaching kids to think critically and debate effectively. Some of them will go on to be CFOs or lawyers or politicians. Some will be teachers. Some will be artists or activists or stay-at-home parents. The money I make from my job isn't the point. The impact is. The friend texted back an hour later saying Delaney's dad called me idealistic and naive. I responded, tell him a naive idealist has more in savings than he does. And I sleep well at night. The friend stopped responding after that. Final update, it's been about 6 weeks now. I'm doing fine, better than fine, actually. I started dating again, casually. Met someone at a bookstore who teaches elementary school and has zero interest in my financial situation beyond. Can you afford to split this pizza? Her name is Bridget. It's refreshing. I heard from another mutual friend that Delaney's been telling people I led her on and that I'm emotionally unavailable. Her dad apparently advised her to focus on her career and find someone more suitable. She's dating someone from her company now, some VP who drives a Tesla and posts gym selfies. Good for her. I mean that sincerely. She'll be much happier with someone who defines success the same way she does. As for me, I'm teaching, coaching, investing, and living a life that makes sense to me. The debate team made it to state finals last week. One of my students got early acceptance to Columbia. Another just told me I'm the reason he wants to become a history teacher. That's real money. The kind you can't deposit in a bank, but the kind that actually matters. Edit 1. Some people have asked if I'm still investing. Yes, I'm actually considering early retirement at 45 to 50 to travel and maybe write a book about financial literacy for teachers. The tutoring business money is already reinvested. The compound interest keeps compounding. Edit 2. For those wondering about the ring, I returned it. Got 85% of my money back. That $4,200 went straight into my brokerage account. Even my mistakes make me money now. Edit 3. Someone asked if Delaney ever tried to reach out again. She did, once about 3 weeks ago. Drunk text at 2 a.m. saying she missed me and made the biggest mistake of her life. I didn't respond. Kieran said I should block her number. I probably will eventually. For now, leaving her on read feels like enough closure.